The moonlit forest was usually a place of silver and shadows, a gentle glow bathing the leaves and lighting the way for all its creatures. But tonight something was different. Luna, a small rabbit with fur the color of fresh snow, twitched her nose, a worried frown creasing her whiskers. The moonlight wasn't as bright. It flickered, like a candle struggling against a breeze. "It's dim," she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible above the chirping of crickets. Usually, the moonlight allowed her to easily spot the sweetest clover patches. Tonight, everything looked muted, grayed. She hopped past Old Man Fitzwilliam's burrow, where the badger was attempting to arrange glowworms to illuminate his doorstep. "Evening, Luna," Fitzwilliam grumbled, squinting at the faint light. "Can't seem to get these blinking things to cooperate. Not enough moonlight to reflect off them properly, you see." Luna continued her journey, noticing more and more signs of the fading light. Fireflies seemed less enthusiastic, their flashes weaker. The river, normally a ribbon of silver, was a dark, sluggish stream. Even Barnaby Bear, usually absorbed in his search for late-night honey, was pacing restlessly near a towering oak. "Blast this gloom!" Barnaby roared, swatting at a branch. "Can't see a thing. How am I supposed to find the good honey when everything's shrouded in darkness?" Luna, though a bit intimidated by the grumpy bear, cautiously approached. "Mr. Barnaby, are you worried about the moonlight?" Barnaby huffed. "Worried? Of course I'm worried. A bear needs moonlight to find his honey. It's a simple equation. No moon, no honey, Grumpy Bear." He paused, noticing Luna's concerned expression. "What's got you all flustered, little one?" It feels wrong," Luna said, her voice small. "The forest feels different. Sadder almost." Barnaby grumbled something about sentimental rabbits, but Luna could see a flicker of worry in his eyes. It seemed even a grumpy bear relied on the magic of the moon. Knowing she needed answers, Luna hopped towards the oldest and wisest creature in the forest, Owl Sage, who lived in a hollow at the top of Whisperwind Hill. The climb was steep, but Luna was determined. Owl Sage, perched on a branch, blinked slowly as Luna approached. "Little Luna," he hooted softly, "I sensed your worry. You've noticed the fading light, haven't you?" "Yes, Owl Sage," Luna replied, out of breath. "What's happening? Is the forest sick?" Owl Sage shook his head. "The forest is not sick, child, but the Moon Queen is. She's grown weak, and with her weakening the moonlight dims. It is said her power comes from the Crown of Light, a magnificent jewel that radiates the moon's energy. But the crown has been lost." Luna's eyes widened. "Lost? But who would take it?" "That, little one, is a mystery. But without it, the Moon Queen will fade completely, and the moonlit forest will be plunged into perpetual darkness. It is a grave situation indeed." Owl Sage looked at Luna, his gaze piercing. Perhaps a brave and kind heart is needed to find it." Owl Sage spread his wings, a silent gesture for Luna to listen closely. "The path to the Moon Kingdom is not an easy one, little Luna. It lies beyond the highest branches, beyond the clouds themselves. There exists a silver ladder, woven from moonbeams and starlight, hidden within the great elderwood, the tallest tree in the forest." Luna's ears perked up. "A ladder to the moon? But the great elderwood is so high. I've never climbed anything that tall." A shiver ran down her spine. She wasn't afraid of much, but heights were a different story. Owl Sage seemed to read her thoughts. "Indeed. It will require courage, Luna, and a strong heart. The ladder is well hidden, protected by playful guardians." Just then, a loud crashing sound echoed from below. Luna and Owl Sage peered down to see Barnaby Bear attempting to scale the great elderwood. He'd gotten barely a few feet off the ground before sliding back down with a frustrated roar. "This is ridiculous," Barnaby bellowed, shaking his paws. "A bear is meant to roam the forest floor, not dangle from trees like a dandelion seed." He tried again, using his claws to grip the bark, but with the same result. Useless. Absolutely useless. Luna giggled, despite her worry. Barnaby's clumsy attempts were a welcome distraction. "Maybe you're not meant to climb, Mr. Barnaby," she called down. "Nonsense," Barnaby retorted. "A bear can do anything he sets his mind to. I just need a running start." He backed up, took a deep breath, and charged at the tree, only to bounce off harmlessly. Owl Sage chuckled, a low rumble in his throat. Bless his heart. Determination without the right tools, Luna. That's Barnaby in a nutshell. Taking a deep breath, Luna turned back to the task at hand. She thanked Owl Sage for his guidance and began to hop towards the great elderwood. As she approached, she noticed a shimmering, almost invisible ladder spiraling upwards into the leaves. It was truly made of silver, catching the faint moonlight and twinkling like a strand of stars. But as she placed a paw on the first rung, a chorus of chattering voices erupted from the branches above. A family of squirrels, a mother and 3 mischievous kits descended, blocking her path. "Halt, little rabbit!" squeaked the mother squirrel, flicking her tail. "To ascend the silver ladder, you must first answer our riddles." "Riddles?" Luna asked, her heart sinking. "Yes, riddles," chirped one of the kids. "Solve them and you may pass. Fail and you'll be stuck down here with bears who can't climb." The mother squirrel cleared her throat. "First riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I?" Luna paused, thinking hard. She remembered her grandmother, a wise old rabbit who loved to share stories and puzzles. When faced with a challenge, little one, her grandmother used to say, "Close your eyes, breathe deep, and remember what you already know." Closing her eyes, Luna pictured the forest, the river, the rolling hills. Then it came to her. "A map!" she exclaimed. The squirrels gasped. "Correct!" squeaked the mother squirrel, looking surprised. "Very clever, little rabbit. But don't think it will be easy. Here's the next one. What has an eye but cannot see?" Luna's mind raced. An eye that couldn't see? She thought of flowers and birds and, "A needle!" she cried out. The squirrels chattered excitedly. "Amazing! One more riddle and you may pass," declared the mother squirrel. "I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" This one was trickier. Luna remembered watching campfires with her family, the flames dancing and flickering. Suddenly, the answer dawned on her. "Fire," she said with confidence. The squirrels erupted in cheers. "You solved them all," squeaked one of the kids. "You're the smartest rabbit we've ever met." The mother squirrel bowed. "You have proven your wit and intelligence, little one. You may ascend the silver ladder. But be warned, the journey ahead is long and full of challenges. Good luck." With a grateful nod, Luna began to climb. Each rung felt cool and smooth beneath her paws. As she climbed higher and higher, the forest spread out beneath her like a green and silver tapestry. The fear hadn't completely disappeared, but with each step, she remembered her grandmother's words. She kudo this. She wudo this. For the Moon Queen, for the forest, and for everyone who relied on the gentle glow of the moonlight. The silver ladder deposited Luna gently onto a cloud bank, thick and swirling with mist. It smelled of damp stone and something faintly blueberry. Before her stretched a narrow stone bridge, arching over a chasm filled with swirling gray fog. Guarding the bridge were 3 moon trolls, hulking creatures with skin like polished granite and eyes that glowed with a soft blue light. They weren't fearsome exactly, more mournful. "Halt!" boomed the largest troll, his voice like rumbling rocks. "No one crosses the bridge of whispers without paying the toll." Luna's heart thumped. "A toll? What kind of toll?" "Not gold, not jewels," said a smaller troll, picking at a patch of moss on his arm. "We collect happy memories. A bright spark to chase away the gloom." "A happy memory?" Luna repeated, confused. "You want me to give you a happy memory?" The largest troll nodded slowly. "Indeed. A cherished moment, a joyful feeling. Something to remind us of the light." Luna hesitated. It felt strange giving away something so personal. But she understood. These trolls weren't guarding the bridge to be cruel. They were lonely. She closed her eyes, searching her memory for a moment that truly sparkled. It came to her quickly. A summer afternoon, tumbling and playing with her brothers and sisters in a field of clover. The sun had been warm on her fur, and they'd been building a tiny fort out of wildflowers. She could almost feel the tickle of the clover against her paws, hear the delighted squeals of her siblings. "I remember," she began, her voice soft. A day when my brothers and sisters and I built a fort in a field of clover. We pretended we were knights and princesses, and the clover was our castle. We laughed so much and the sun felt so warm it was perfect." As she spoke, a faint glow emanated from her, illuminating the misty air. The troll's stony faces softened. The largest troll's eyes actually twinkled. "Beautiful," he rumbled, a hint of warmth in his voice. "A truly beautiful memory." The smaller troll sighed contentedly. "It's been a long time since we've felt such warmth." He shuffled his feet. "You may pass, little rabbit. And thank you." As Luna stepped onto the bridge, the smallest troll, who hadn't spoken until now, leaned closer. "Be warned, little one," he whispered, his voice barely audible above the swirling mist. "The sky pirates, they are closer than you think. They steal more than just treasures, they steal joy. Watch your back." Luna nodded, a shiver running down her spine. Sky pirates? She hadn't expected that. Once on the other side, Luna paused, looking back at the trolls. They were already fading into the mist, their blue eyes dimming. She realized something important. Sharing her happy memory hadn't diminished it, it had amplified it, sending a ripple of joy outwards. And even in this misty, somber realm, a little bit of happiness could make all the difference. She continued her journey, the image of her siblings and the clover field warm in her heart. The troll's request hadn't been about a toll at all. It had been a reminder that even the smallest of memories could be a powerful light, capable of brightening even the darkest of times. And Luna knew with a certainty that settled deep within her, that she would carry that light with her, all the way to the Moon Queen. The bridge ahead wasn't made of stone, or wood, or even mist. It was floating. Individual moonstones, each glowing with a cool silver light, hung suspended in the air, connected by shimmering strands of moonlight. But they weren't arranged in a steady path. Instead, they shifted and swirled, constantly rearranging themselves into different patterns. As Luna approached, the stones settled, forming a chaotic jumble that blocked her way. "Oh dear," Luna murmured. This wasn't just a bridge, it was a puzzle. She tentatively stepped onto the first stone, and with a soft chime it rotated, nudging against its neighbor. The entire structure wobbled, then reformed into a slightly different, equally impassable arrangement. It's responding to me," Luna realized. But what does it want? Frustration began to bubble up. She tried pushing and pulling at the stones, hoping to force them into a line, but the bridge resisted, stubbornly rearranging itself each time. She sat down on a stable-ish moonstone, her ears drooping. A tiny sparkle caught her eye. Hovering near the bridge, barely bigger than a firefly, was a small lost star. It twinkled faintly, as if offering a silent encouragement. Luna couldn't understand why, but the star's presence calmed her. She closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and tried to think. What patterns had she observed in her travels? What did she know about how things moved and connected? Then, a memory flickered: the firefly dances in the moonlit forest. The fireflies didn't just fly randomly. They moved in intricate patterns, swirling and weaving, responding to each other's lights. "Patterns," she whispered, opening her eyes. "It's about patterns." Luna began to observe the way the moonstones shifted. She noticed that each stone seemed to have a preferred direction, a gentle pull towards certain neighbors. She started to gently nudge the stones, not with force, but with a delicate touch, guiding them along their natural inclinations. Slowly, painstakingly, a pattern began to emerge. She remembered the spiral formations of the fireflies, the way they created expanding circles of light. She translated that memory into her movements, guiding the moonstones into a swirling, spiraling design. With each correct placement, the bridge hummed with energy, the silver light growing brighter. The lost star twinkled more rapidly, as if cheering her on. Finally, after what felt like hours, the last moonstone clicked into place. The bridge solidified, forming a shimmering pathway that stretched towards the horizon. Luna stood back, gazing at her creation. It wasn't just a bridge anymore. It was a work of art, a testament to the beauty of patterns and the power of observation. "I did it!" she exclaimed, a triumphant grin spreading across her face. As she started across the bridge, Luna realized something profound. She hadn't solved the puzzle with strength or magic. But with careful observation and a little bit of remembered beauty, the fireflies hadn't just been a pretty sight, they'd been teaching her a valuable lesson. Paying attention to the details, noticing the subtle connections, those were skills that could help her overcome any obstacle. And as she journeyed onward, Luna knew she would carry that lesson with her, shining as brightly as the star that had offered her silent support. The bridge deposited Luna onto a swirling cloud bank, and before she could catch her breath, a net dropped from above, ensnaring her completely. She struggled, but the rope was strong, and within moments she was hoisted upwards, towards a sight that made her whiskers twitch with alarm. It was a ship, but not one that sailed on water. This vessel, the Night Raven, was crafted from dark wood and polished metal, with enormous sails that billowed not with wind, but with captured starlight. It floated amongst the clouds, crewed by figures clad in black and adorned with colorful bandanas, sky pirates. Well, what have we here?" a booming voice called out. A woman with fiery red hair, a mischievous glint in her eye, and a parrot perched on her shoulder strode towards Luna. This was Captain Calico, notorious throughout the Cloud Kingdoms. A little rabbit all alone. "What treasures do you carry, little one?" Luna, though frightened, stood tall. "I'm not carrying treasures, Captain. I'm on a quest to save the Moon Queen." Captain Calico threw back her head and laughed. "The Moon Queen? A noble cause, perhaps, but hardly one that concerns the Night Raven. We deal in stories, little rabbit, and dreams. The most valuable treasures of all." She gestured around the ship. Cages lined the deck, each containing shimmering orbs captured dreams. Scrolls were piled high, filled with stolen tales. You steal dreams?" Luna asked, horrified. "We borrow them," Calico corrected with a smirk. "Inspiration is a fickle thing, you see. Some need a little encouragement." As Luna was being led towards a small cabin, she bumped into a young pirate, barely older than a kid. He had messy brown hair, ink-stained fingers, and a look of quiet sadness in his eyes. He fumbled with a quill and a half-finished scroll. "Sorry," Luna mumbled. The pirate quickly looked up, startled. "Oh, it's nothing," he stammered, quickly hiding the scroll. "I'm Pip. I'm Luna. What are you writing?" she asked, tilting her head. Pip's cheeks flushed. "Nothing. Just ship logs. Important pirate things." Luna didn't believe him. She could see the longing in his eyes, the way he glanced at the stolen stories. "It looked like a story," she said gently. Pip hesitated, then sighed. "It is. I like to write, but Captain Calico says stories are for fools. She says power comes from taking stories, not creating them." "But stories are wonderful," Luna exclaimed. "They connect us, they teach us, they bring joy." Pip's eyes lit up. "I know, but I'm a pirate. I'm supposed to be fierce and steal things." "You don't have to be," Luna said, a thought forming in her mind. "Pip, what if we could escape? And you could write all the stories you want?" Pip's internal conflict was visible on his face. Loyalty to the crew, fear of Calico's wrath, battled with the yearning for his true passion. He glanced nervously towards the captain, who was issuing orders nearby. I don't know," he whispered. "It's dangerous. It's dangerous to let your dreams be stolen too," Luna replied, her voice firm but kind. "The Moon Queen needs the crown of light, and I need your help. Will you help me, Pip?" Pip looked at the scroll in his hands, then at Luna's determined face. A flicker of courage ignited in his eyes. He took a deep breath and nodded. I will." With Pip's help, navigating the Night Raven's labyrinthine corridors proved surprisingly easy. He knew every secret passage, every hidden latch. They slipped past snoring pirates and avoided Captain Calico's watchful gaze, eventually reaching a small escape pod, a single-person craft used for quick raids. Pip modified it just enough to accommodate both of them. "Hold on tight," he warned, as he launched the pod towards a swirling portal that shimmered with lunar energy. "This is a shortcut to the Moon Kingdom, but it's a bumpy ride." The pod shot through the portal, tumbling and spinning until it emerged into a breathtaking landscape. The Moon Kingdom wasn't made of rock and dust, but of solidified moonlight, glowing with an ethereal beauty. But even here, a pall hung over everything. The once brilliant structures were dim, and the air felt heavy with sadness. They were quickly ushered into the Moon Queen's chamber, a vast hall carved from pure crystal. The Moon Queen lay on a dais, her form translucent and fading. Shadows clung to her like a shroud, draining her light. Attendants, moon sprites with drooping wings, flitted around her, their faces etched with worry. You came," the Moon Queen whispered, her voice barely audible. She looked at Luna with a flicker of hope in her dimming eyes. "The prophecy. A brave rabbit, you are she." "I'll do everything I can, Your Majesty," Luna replied, her heart aching at the sight of the Queen's suffering. "But where is the crown of light?" A moon sprite stepped forward. It's gone, Your Majesty. Stolen by Nocturne, the shadow spirit. He dwells in the obsidian caves, and he despises all that shines." "Nocturne?" Pip asked, his voice trembling slightly. He's powerful. He was once a guardian of the night," the Moon Queen explained. "But he grew jealous of the light, fearing it would eclipse his domain. He believes shadows are superior, that they hold all the secrets and beauty. He hid the crown, hoping to plunge the Moon Kingdom into eternal darkness." "We have to get it back," Luna declared, her voice filled with determination. "It won't be easy," the Moon Queen warned. "Nocturne feeds on despair and negativity. Kindness is your greatest weapon, little rabbit. Show him the beauty of balance, the harmony between light and shadow." With Pip by her side, Luna ventured towards the obsidian caves. The air grew colder with each step, and the shadows deepened, twisting into menacing shapes. Finally, they reached a cavern bathed in an eerie purple glow. In the center, swirling within a vortex of darkness, was Nocturne, a being of pure shadow, his form constantly shifting and reforming. And clutched in his shadowy hand was the crown of light, its brilliance dimmed and struggling to break free. "So," Nocturne hissed, his voice like the rustling of dry leaves, "the little rabbit comes to reclaim what is rightfully mine. You cannot comprehend the elegance of darkness, the peace of oblivion." Luna took a deep breath, remembering the Moon Queen's words. "I understand that shadows are important," she said, her voice clear and steady. "They give depth to the light, they create mystery, they allow things to rest. But without light, shadows have no meaning. They're just empty," Nocturne finished, his form flickering with agitation. "Not empty," Luna corrected gently. "Hidden, waiting for the light to reveal them. Light and shadow need each other. They're two parts of the same whole." Pip, emboldened by Luna's courage, stepped forward. I used to think shadows were scary," he stammered. "But then I realized they're where stories hide. They're where imagination takes flight. You can't have a good story without a little darkness." Nocturne seemed taken aback. He lowered the crown slightly, and a sliver of light escaped, illuminating his form. For a fleeting moment, Luna saw not a menacing spirit, but a lonely being, yearning for understanding. You see it?" Nocturne whispered, his voice losing its harshness. "We do," Luna replied, offering a small, reassuring smile. "Shadows aren't something to be feared, but something to be appreciated." A slow transformation began. The vortex of darkness around Nocturne began to dissipate, revealing a being of shimmering, smoky form. He released the crown, and it floated towards Luna, radiating warmth and light. Luna, with Pip hovering anxiously nearby, gently lifted the crown of light. It pulsed with warmth, eager to return to its rightful place. She approached the Moon Queen's dais, and as she raised the crown, a collective gasp rippled through the chamber. The crystal floor seemed to hum with anticipation. With trembling paws, Luna placed the crown upon the Moon Queen's head. A blinding wave of light erupted, washing over the chamber, chasing away the clinging shadows. The Moon Queen inhaled deeply, her translucent form regaining its vibrant glow. Color returned to her cheeks, and her eyes sparkled with renewed energy. The drooping wings of the moon sprite straightened, and they began to flutter with joyful abandon. "Light!" the Moon Queen breathed, her voice now strong and clear. "It is restored." She smiled at Luna, a radiant expression of gratitude. "You have saved us, brave rabbit. You have shown us the power of kindness and understanding." As the light spread, it reached even Nocturne, now a shimmering, smoky figure observing from a distance. He no longer recoiled from the brightness, but seemed to bask in its warmth. A peaceful expression settled on his face, and he slowly began to drift upwards, merging with the shadows of the chamber, but now as a guardian, not a prisoner. I will watch over the night," Nocturne's voice echoed softly, "ensuring the balance is maintained, the light and the shadow together forever." News of the restored moonlight traveled swiftly. Back in the moonlit forest, Barnaby Bear was the first to notice. He lumbered out of his cave, blinking in the now brilliant glow. A delighted roar escaped his lips. "Honey!" he bellowed, sniffing the air. "I can seethe honey, and it smells sweeter than ever." He immediately began sharing his precious honey with every creature he encountered, a rare and joyous occasion. Meanwhile, high above the Moon Kingdom, the Moon Queen turned her gaze towards Luna. "You have earned a reward, little one, a place among the stars." She raised her hand, and a tiny spark of moonlight detached itself from her crown. It floated towards Luna, growing brighter and more radiant until it transformed into a beautiful, shimmering star. "This is your star, Luna," the Moon Queen said, "a symbol of your bravery, your kindness, and your unwavering spirit. It will shine brightly in the night sky, a reminder that even the smallest creature can make a world of difference." Luna gazed up at her star, tears welling in her eyes. It twinkled back at her, a beacon of hope and joy. And far away, aboard the Night Raven, Captain Calico was having a change of heart. She watched through her spyglass as Luna's star joined the constellation, a brilliant new addition to the night sky. "Pip was right," she muttered to herself, a wistful smile playing on her lips. "Stories are meant to be shared, not stolen." She immediately ordered her crew to repurpose the Night Raven, transforming it into a magnificent ship dedicated to delivering tales and adventures to every corner of the realm. Luna, standing beside Pip, looked out across the restored Moon Kingdom, her heart overflowing with happiness. The forest below was bathed in silver light, and she knew with absolute certainty that the moonlit forest would shine brightly for generations to come. The journey back to the moonlit forest felt different. No longer burdened by worry, Luna practically bounced with every hop, Pip fluttering alongside, excitedly recounting their adventure to anyone who would listen. The forest welcomed them back with open paws, wings, and claws. A chorus of cheers erupted as they landed near Owl Sage's ancient oak. "Welcome home, little hero," Owl Sage hooted warmly, his golden eyes twinkling. "The forest has been eagerly awaiting your return. The moonlight feels brighter, somehow, now that it carries the echo of your courage." Luna, a little shy under all the attention, recounted her journey: the Silver Ladder, the Moon Trolls, the Sky Pirates, and the restored Moon Queen. She described Pip's bravery and Captain Calico's surprising change of heart. Owl Sage listened intently, occasionally offering a wise nod or a gentle comment. "You have shown us all, Luna," Owl Sage said when she finished, "that even the smallest among us can possess the greatest strength. And that kindness, truly, is the most potent magic of all." Next, Luna and Pip ventured towards Barnaby Bear's cave. The grumpy bear was surprisingly cheerful, surrounded by a mountain of honeycombs. He'd already shared with nearly everyone in the forest, a testament to his joy at the moonlight's return. Well, look who it is," Barnaby boomed, a smear of honey on his nose. "The little rabbit who saved the night. I'll admit, I doubted a rabbit could do it, but you proved me wrong. And the honey. Oh, the honey tastes divine under this light." He offered Luna and Pip each a generous pawful of the golden treat. "It's good to be back, Barnaby," Luna said, happily accepting the honey. "And I'm glad you can find your honey so easily now." "Easy is an understatement," Barnaby chuckled. "I've already discovered a whole new patch of clover blossoms. It's a honeymaker's dream." As the days turned into weeks, the forest creatures decided to honor Luna's bravery with a yearly festival, the Festival of the Silver Light. They decorated the trees with glowing moonstones, told stories of Luna's adventure, and shared honey and berries under the radiant moonlight. It became a tradition, a reminder of the night the light was almost lost, and the little rabbit who brought it back. One afternoon, a small, intricately folded leaf arrived at Luna's burrow. It was delivered by a swift-winged hummingbird, a messenger from Captain Calico. Inside, Luna found a beautifully written story, penned in neat, careful script. To Luna, she read aloud to Pip, the bravest rabbit I have ever known. This story is dedicated to your courage, your kindness, and your unwavering belief in the power of stories. May your light continue to shine brightly. Pip. Luna's heart swelled with happiness. Pip had finally found his calling, and she was so proud of him. That evening, Luna sat outside her burrow, gazing up at the night sky. There it was, her star, twinkling brightly among the constellations. It was a small star, perhaps, but it shone with a warmth and brilliance that filled her with joy. It's beautiful, isn't it? Pip said, settling beside her. It is, Luna agreed, a peaceful smile gracing her lips. It reminds me that even when things seem dark, there's always hope, and that even a little rabbit can make a big difference. As she continued to gaze at her star, Luna knew that her adventure had changed her forever. She was no longer just a curious rabbit from the moonlit forest. She was Luna, the brave rabbit, the friend of pirates, and a star in the night sky.